Welcome to the deep dive. This is where we take one powerful piece of insight, maybe just a sentence or two, and we really unpack it, explore its layers. What does it actually mean for you? The goal is always that you walk away with a fresh perspective, something you can maybe apply. So today we're plunging into a really impactful idea, the art of self-reinvention, our source material. It's from excerpts from the Art of Self-Reinvention. And it boils down this huge concept into, well, just one sentence, really. It tells us, recreate yourself.
Yeah.
And then adds, don't be stuck in an old identity, reinvent when needed. Wow. I mean, for me, that immediately just sparks so many thoughts.
It really does. And it's the directness, isn't it? It just grabs you. It's not some vague philosophical idea. It's like a command, almost a call to action about your own life. And even though it's short, it suggests this deep understanding of, well, how life changes, how we need to change. It really challenges how we usually think about who we are.
Absolutely challenges those assumptions. So that's our mission for this deep dive. Let's explore the nuances packed into just this one statement. What does recreate actually mean in practice? And what makes an identity old? How do you spot that? And maybe the trickiest part, how do we know when reinvention is truly needed? Not just wanted, but needed. Okay, let's unpack this, right? Let's start with that first bit, recreate yourself. When I hear recreate, my mind goes to art, like an artist. They don't just let a painting evolve. Sometimes they scrape it right down, start again. Or they take something existing and just radically change it. It's not passive. It's not just things happening to you. This phrase implies like a conscious choice. You're the author here. You're shaping your own story, right? Not just reading lines someone else wrote. It's really a call to take ownership. It makes you think about the power you have.
That artist analogy is perfect, actually, because that's what's fascinating. Recreate. It's not just change or adapt. Those words feel smaller somehow. Recreate suggests identity isn't this fixed thing, like set in stone from birth. It's more like clay, something we can shape and reshape. It really pushes back against the idea that yourself is this permanent monument. Instead, it's malleable. It's alive. It should be refined, maybe even redesigned completely sometimes. In psychology, there's this concept of narrative identity. We understand ourselves through the stories we tell about our lives. And the key thing is we can revise those stories. We do it all the time. So yeah, you have the power, maybe even the responsibility to keep writing your own story.
I like that, the responsibility angle. Okay, so then the source pivots. From that empowering call to action, it gives a warning. Don't be stuck in an old identity. And that word, stuck. It feels heavy, doesn't it? Makes you think of being trapped, like mud or quicksand. Can't move forward, maybe feeling a bit resentful about it too.
Yeah, stagnant, like a river that's dammed up.
Exactly. Or like a gear just grinding, not turning.
Yeah.
So what does being stuck in an old identity really feel like? For me, it's that feeling of no progress, discomfort, like you can't adapt to where you are now, or you're being held back by who you used to be. It's like wearing clothes from years ago. They just don't fit anymore. They're tight, they restrict you. So the source is saying, avoid that feeling. Don't be held captive by your past self.
And that raises a really important question, right? What makes an identity old here? It's not just about birthdays.
No, definitely not chronological age.
Right. It's about whether that identity serves you anymore. Does it fit who you are now, your current life, your hopes for the future? An old identity is one that's become rigid, maybe brittle. It might have been great, even essential before. But now it's a limitation. Think about someone whose whole identity was tied to a specific job, and that industry changes, or the job disappears.
Or maybe after a big life change, like a loss, trying to hold on to an identity defined only by what was lost.
Exactly. Those identities, once central, can become, well, baggage. They become old when they stop you from growing, or they clash with who you feel you really are becoming, when they create that internal friction.
Okay, this is where it gets really interesting for me, the connection. How the source links these two ideas, the positive recreate and the negative don't get stuck.
Two sides of the same coin.
Exactly. It presents reinvention not just as a nice idea, but as the antidote to being stuck. So if you feel that drag, that stagnation, the answer isn't just to endure it. It's to actively start that recreation process.
It implies this constant dynamic, doesn't it, between being stuck and actively recreating.
Yeah. And that you, the individual, you get to choose. You have the agency to shift from one state to the other. It's not just about surviving change. It's about actually thriving because you're making intentional changes.
Precisely. And that leads perfectly into the other key instruction, reinvent when needed. That word needed is doing a lot of work there. It's crucial.
Right. It's not just reinvent whenever you feel like it.
Exactly. This isn't about changing your hair color on a whim or, chasing the latest trend just because. It's not superficial. The source suggests something more strategic,
Mm.
purposeful. It's a response to a genuine need. Either something inside you shifts or something outside changes significantly. It implies you need to be discerning, aware, recognizing when a change isn't just desirable, but actually necessary.
So what might trigger that need?
Well, it could be a major life event, right?
Yeah.
A new job or losing one, a relationship ending or starting, becoming a parent, a health crisis, this
Yeah.
external catalyst. Or it could be quieter, an internal shift, that nagging feeling maybe that the way you're living, the identity you have just doesn't align with your values anymore or your
Mhm.
aspirations. So it's about being responsive, intentional, recognizing those turning points, not just reacting blindly.
That difference between whim and need that feels really key. So, okay, bringing it all together. What's the takeaway for us listening right now? What does this short, punchy message mean for navigating our lives?
Well, it seems to give us this really powerful framework for thinking about growth, personal evolution.
A framework.
Yeah. It says, first, be honest with yourself. Recognize when an identity, a role, a belief system isn't working anymore, it doesn't serve you. And then crucially, it empowers you. It says, take steps, actively recreate something new. It really champions adaptability, not just as a way to cope, but as a core strength, a
So
choice.
that's about fluidity, isn't it?
Yes,
Right.
fluidity, being responsive to life, responsive to your inner compass, always growing instead of getting stuck in who you were, not letting old stories define who you are now or who you want to become. So if I were to sum up the absolute core idea from this source for you, the listener, it's that your identity, it isn't fixed, it's not static, it's dynamic, it's always evolving, or at least it can be. And the source argues we should be proactive about it, discerning, but proactive. It's about seeing when an old version of you is holding you back, and then consciously, purposefully letting it go, shedding it, to make space for a new version that fits better now. Again, not random change. It's evolution driven by genuine need, responding to where you are internally or externally. It's about becoming who you need to be right when you need to be them.
Wow.
Yeah.
That really lands. Such a powerful idea packed into so few words. This has been a fantastic deep dive. Just taking that one sentence. Recreate yourself. Don't be stuck in an old identity. Reinvent when needed.
Yeah.
It's such a liberating thought, isn't it?
Mhm.
That your story isn't finished, and you're the one holding the pen. Thank you so much for joining us on this exploration.
And maybe, just maybe, this leaves us with a really compelling question. For you, the listener, something to mull over after we finish here. Building on that when needed part, how do you know? How do you actually discern that moment, that tipping point, when an old identity truly isn't serving you anymore and that genuine, undeniable need for reinvention really clicks in? What are the signs, those internal whispers or those maybe not so subtle external nudges that tell you it's time? Time to step consciously into someone new, something to think about in your own life, your own context.
Exactly. A really personal, powerful question to carry forward. We've really enjoyed digging into this with you today.
Yep.
And we look forward to our next deep dive.